Thank you again for joining Proud of It podcast. I thank all those out there that have been able to listen over the last couple of years now about what is happening with not only nations but also with the world itself, and that we all realize up to this point that we are now going further and further off the cliff, if we ain't already off the cliff, so to speak. And the governments continue driving us in that direction with all types of issues and destruction and disasters and war and everything that's coming over the cliff with us, that's going to land on us at some point, because it's above us and we're below it and we can't get above it because it seems they're just continuing to pound us further and further into the ground. And it is now that we have to realize something that I realized over 5, 6, 7 years ago, that everything that we see, everything that we're doing, trying to achieve, is unsustainable. It is not sustainable at all. The way we live, the way we're eating, the way we're doing all types of deals, it is unsustainable. And it's going to come to a halt. And maybe not a halt, but more like over a cliff, where everything gets to a point where the conditions are so bad that we can no longer even repair what has been done or what will be done in the future. And if you haven't noticed, because some people haven't lived long enough, they don't understand exactly what is going on. They're just caught up in this web of lies and BS through political, friends, family, and everything else that keeps stirring them in a direction that is heading off a cliff. But the conditions are such that we can no longer even continue to arrive at any destination other than total destruction of nations, governments, either political or whatever. All power structures being political, being industrial, and all that come with that, all of it is nothing but unrepairable stuff that is going to continue to push us in this path. And we all, as a society, as nations, as the common folk, have to understand that if we are looking for answers through any government at this point, if we are looking for answers through war power, if we are looking for the answer through nuclear power, if we are looking for the answer through anything, industrial power, whatever it be, it will never, ever get over and allow us to move on. We are definitely in denial at this point of how bad the situation is getting, has gotten, and will get in the future. The future being 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years, 3 years from now, is totally going to shift so fast that many will be either swept underneath, crushed from above, or just totally obliterated and railroaded all the way down through the disasters that are eventually going to come from our governments having no control over the countries with which they've been given much responsibility, and much is due and much is owed And I tell you, we are eventually going to fall off a cliff. And many right now have already fell off that cliff, and they're bringing everybody with them. You know, this person can't do this no more, so now this person's going to take up the slack, and then this person can't do it, so this person's going to take up the slack. But eventually, all them chains are going to get tight. So tight that they're taking care of everything that they possibly can, and them chains are going to break. That's what's happening now. That's why it's not inflation that is actually happening. It's that the chains are getting tighter. And these businesses, these companies are trying to hold up their whole entire families, their friends, and their little government buddies and everything else. They're trying to hold all of this up. And they're pushing up the prices to try to get everyone to take out the slack or make slack. But there's no slack because everybody is falling faster than what is actually happening. And the slack isn't getting slacker. More people are pulling on the chains. And the chains are getting tighter. And it's just a few moments before everything breaks. Before things get so expensive, before things get so out of control that nobody can afford gas, nobody will be able to afford anything to eat. People will not be able to afford their houses. And that also plays into money itself. The money will get so worthless in most countries over the next 5 to 10 years. It'll be so worthless that even those that were trying to pay everybody's bills and do everything will not have enough. Because at that point, the bottom part of society that they were trying to get to hold up this bigger society above them gets crushed. And that's exactly what is happening and is going to happen. And like I said, has happened. Many people are looking around wondering what's happening. That's exactly what is happening. And then eventually the conveyor belt just throws everything off a cliff. Meaning even the richest of richest, even the lowest of lowest will all be at the very bottom of the canyon. And that is exactly where most nations are headed right now. And many people are trying to deny it, trying to pacify it, and just trying to laugh it off and think that tomorrow will be a better day. I am telling you, there's no more better days. The best day you have is today. Tomorrow, darkness comes. Tonight, darkness comes. But that darkness is getting to the point where there will be no light at the end of the tunnel. There will be nothing but pure darkness. And there will be many starving in many nations over the next 10, 15 years. Because, like I said before, the way societies, even around the world and everywhere, are living way beyond their dreams, way beyond their means. And they're pushing more and more of the responsibility on the lower of the lowest of the lowest class. We all have to understand that we are all in this. We are all going to suffer from this. And like I said, if we continue to think that these things are not going to hit you because you have $1 million in the bank, I promise you, in a few more years, $1 million won't be worth won't even be worth the pen ink that it's written on. The paper will not be worth shit that is written on. Nothing will be worth anything. Like I said, at some point, the society will break, the chain will break, and everybody caught in its wake will have to face reality. That's what's wrong with the societies of this world at this point in time. They have lost their perception of reality. They think they can continue to do anything they want to do, and that there will be no repercussions for doing it. They have already pushed many countries into so much debt, it will never be paid off. And the reality is, the piper always comes. The piper will always come, and the piper wants his money. And if you don't have his money, then you and everything you have in your nation and everywhere will become who's ever the piper. Be it China, be it Russia, be it whatever. We just have to understand that the days of us thinking that we can trust the government, trust the society with which we live in, it's over. It's been over. It was over like 3 years ago. And this new government, it can't be trusted. Look at it. You have everything that I've been talking about over the last 3 or 4 years now has come to pass. The colleges are full of satanic, pedophiles, sodomites, liars, sexual deviants, child molesters, unjustly people, wicked people, full of wicked ideas on how to rule a wicked world. And they are driving everyone to worship this beast that I've been talking about. And more people are worshiping. More and more people are getting on the bandwagon to worship the beast. Many are bowing. Many are giving up all their respect for themselves, for their families, for their friends, for whoever, to be a part of this system, the beast system that I've been talking about. And we have to understand that, yes, society has fallen off a cliff. It is bowed and bowed and bowed to the beast system. It has wanted more of things to look a certain way than to be a certain way. People don't care if it's right anymore. They care if it looks right. They don't care if their kids are good kids. They just care that their kids are going to the most satanic bullshit college that money can buy. And as we've all seen, and as we're seeing, these colleges wasn't worth shit. They're not teaching shit. And most of the people that come out of them, yes, they might have an education, but it's still an education that's been educated by those that hate God, hate the country with which they reside in, and want everybody to be a satanic sodomite who only worships money and everything that the devil enjoys and wants you to enjoy. All the indulgences that people are being given in this day and time is not by God, but by a satanic beast that has rose up and taken over all that was ever good in all these nations and all these countries. And there is no good. The only good is the fake good that you see all around you, the fake good. Those wanting to act a certain way because it's going to put their business in a better position.